Alright, so before I begin starting my argument, I will rebut Rogelio's claim that Cuba's government style of government prohibits us from having trade with them by opening with a quote from former Illinois Governor George Ryan. He says that, "I think that we should treat Cuba like we do any other country in the world. And what has made this country so great is its free trade." Because we do have the Cuban embargo on Cuba prohibiting trade and travel, we've kind of isolated them from the rest of the world because we're such a superpower that our influence over Cuba has greatly changed its government and the way that it will react to other governments in the world. And that they will not change their governing style just because we keep this embargo on them. And I believe the embargo has not served its own purpose. In a quote by Ryan Furial, he said that it is hypocritical to restrict American rights as a means of forcing another country to embrace freedom. It is also hypocritical to demand Cuba to adopt a representative democracy, given its long history of U.S. support for brutal dictatorship in countries that favor U.S. interests. So the attitude that U.S. is giving towards Cuba in respect to trade, that we're blocking them off instead of completely opening up trade, is harmful to both of our governments and economies in that we're limiting ourselves to our imports and exports. American business will greatly benefit from increasing trade with Cuba because of agricultural exports that we'll now have a new open market for, as well as investors from America who can invest in small private Cuban businesses that will begin to grow as they already have been in the past few years. In respect to American business growing, the removal of U.S. restrictions on exports to Cuba could boost U.S. sales of select agricultural and manufactured goods by $2.2 billion, up from a mere $1.8 million in 2015. So just opening up the market with Cuba will greatly increase our trade exports as well as imports from their small private businesses.